His Super Bowl MVP turns 27 today. I hope he has an amazing birthday. Wishing him all the best. And speaking of Jalen, Stephen A., which team is the biggest threat to the Eagles in the NFC this season?
I think it's the Commanders, me personally, because of what we talked about with the Rams and Stafford and his health. I'm not sold on Jordan Love, not his ability. I have no questions about his ability. It's his consistency, that it factor in the moment when you need him to. When you're going up against the Eagles, can you play better? Can you avoid throwing 3 interceptions? Jared Goff, same thing with him. I know what he did. He had an outstanding year last year, but obviously was less than great in the playoffs. It didn't help to get about 13 dudes injured and stuff. Got all of that. But when I look at Jaden Daniels and I think about the NFC East and how that competition is and how they got shellacked in the NFC Championship game, with the improvements that we expect to this squad, with the improvement in him, I think that's the way to go. I
love how I'm like, happy birthday, Jalen. Let's go for the jugular. Who's going to take your team down? Go ahead, Woody.
My pick, I may have to throw an addendum on my pick because I picked the Rams. I just think that the Rams, obviously Stafford dealing with the back situation is something the Bears watching, but when you look at the Rams in its totality, the running game, Kyron Williams, Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua, line, maybe the best young defensive front in football over there with the Rams. So when I look at them, that's my pick.
Just the major concern, of course, the back that we talked about, Mina. What do you have?
I'm sticking with the Detroit Lions. Understand the loss of coordinators hurts. Didn't lose Jahmyr Gibbs. Didn't lose Amon-Ra St. Brown. Didn't lose Sam Laporta. Yeah. And then defensively, this is the best defense of the 3 teams we've talked about. It's the most injured defense in football last year. You get back Aiden Hutchinson. You've added reinforcements at all 3 levels. I think this defense will compensate for any offensive regression. To me, of the 3 teams we discussed, the Lions are the most balanced team. You got it on both sides of the ball, the best.
All right. Guys, party's almost over.
Well, first of all, it's not the party's not over.
Yeah, you're about
it's
to
just a break until tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're going to be at the NABJ in Cleveland. We're going to do our thing among.
Are you going to wear your watch, or are you going to leave that at home?
Excuse me?
What watch? You're going to wear your watch.
What watch?
To inspire the students, your watch.
Well,
it's still cold in here.
See what
I think that's why
it's
still cold in here.
Doing today.
If the students
Mina, you are lucky you're not in studio because Stephen A's watch got it freezing up in here right now. Yeah. Freezing.
Can't hide money. Nope.
Boy.
Our insider extraordinaire, take us through what you got. What do fans need to know about that quarterback battle?
Oh, yeah. Peter, let's light that campfire up. That battle is tight. I talked to head coach Shane Steichen and said it's been back and forth. Anthony Richardson has made a move. He's had a series of strong days. He's making those routine plays more routinely. That's been the issue for him. He admitted he did not pick up the slack last year, but Daniel Jones has picked up the offense quickly. So I expect this to go through the next several weeks. They're each going to get a crack at a preseason game. They got a joint practice. Then they'll decide who's the starter.
Harry, Anthony Richardson was a top 5 pick 2 years ago. What do you need to see from him in the preseason?
Can you do the routine things consistently? And that's completing the football, knowing when to put touch on it, know when to throw it 100 miles per hour, but also be consistent and just take care of the football. And I love the simple fact that they brought in Daniel Jones. There's nothing wrong with a healthy competition to get a guy that you drafted 4th overall 2 years ago to, I would say, assert himself a little bit more. And that's what they need in this organization. They thought he was going to be the face. Don't give up on him just yet. Give him some time.
D, would you like the fact that we got Daniel Jones and paid him real money?
I thought that they had to do it. First of all, they totally botched the situation with Anthony Richardson, considering he only started 13 games in college.
Shouldn't have drafted him that high.
No, they shouldn't have. They shouldn't have put him out there right off the top. But at this point right now, yes, he needs to be pushed because ultimately he hasn't been available. You do us no good if you're not available on the field. So I agree with what they're doing.
Jeremy Fowler, there's a lot of excitement out in Tennessee over the #1 overall pick. What can you tell us about Cam Ward?
I talked to head coach Brian Callahan. He told me the work ethic is legit. He's in the building 4:35 a.m. every day. He's bringing teammates with him, and he can process information quickly. The 2 days I was there, he had one really good day. He had one terrible day where Callahan was yelling at the offense after they were done. So I'll say this, he's got some magic out of the pocket. When he rolls out, he can create. He's an artist. I'm not going to say he's Mahomes, but he's got that gear a little bit to his athleticism.
Harry, I want to say that we have spoken about Shedeur Sanders 5 times more than Cam Ward since the draft. This is a #1 overall pick. What do you want to see from him?
Number one, continue to be the leader that you are. Cam Ward is the first one in the building. He's the last one to leave. A lot of people think that he can't continue to be the first one. How are you going to change the culture if your quarterback does not have this mindset? We know he has the athleticism as well and a strong arm. Put all those things on display. But the main thing, Peter, continue to be that extreme leader that you need to be for your respective.
D-Wood, do you think we get some wow plays out of him in the preseason?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because that's in his game. He's always been a guy that had the flair for the dramatics, but ultimately in the preseason, it's more about operations, just showing that you can go out there, be a leader, man, run the operation smoothly. Come week one, let's put it out there for display.
From one number one overall pick to another. Jeremy, what do fans need to know about Joe Burrow, who is actually going to be playing meaningful preseason snaps tonight?
That he feels better than ever. He told me at his locker a couple weeks ago when I was at camp that he didn't throw really all offseason. He likes to take a long chunk of time off, but then when he comes back, works on his mechanics again, and he feels like he's firing the ball. Feels great. He was even in a running back drill the day I was there. Said that he was just trying to stay fresh and loose. See those legs there with the athleticism. So they have an embarrassment of riches on offense. You can feel it and see it in Cincinnati. They've added pieces. T. Higgins told me he's going to play a little bit more in the slot this year. Could catch 100 passes. That's alongside Jamar Chase. So if the defense can just be, average, they're going to be just fine.
I introduced you as the insider extraordinaire, but I'm going to ask you to put your analyst hat, your opinion hat on.
Yeah.
What was your reaction when you saw that Joe Burrow is actually going to start and play in a preseason game?
It's a terrible idea. I mean, I do hate it. Just because this is a player who's been hurt 2 of the last 5 years. He's ended his season out of the lineup. I would have him on one of those huge bubble human bodies that you saw Pete Carroll had at Redick camp. The guys are rolling around like this.
Yeah, sure.
He would be in that and just let him throw out of the little armhole. That would be it.
I feel like that's the sentiment from a lot of people, and yet when we go to the ex-players, and we've had him all week on the show, and Harry Douglas saw with you, you guys seem to love the fact that he's playing.
Yeah, because football players play football, Peter.
Okay.
That's what they're supposed to do. That's what they get paid to do. And when you have slow starts, like the Cincinnati Bengals have had over the last 3 years, and especially since the tenure of Zach Taylor being that head coach, you got to play these guys. If Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce can play in preseason, Joe Burrow can play in preseason. Lamar Jackson can play in preseason. Every other quarterback can play in preseason. Why not do this? You can iron those kinks out right now in preseason so you can start the season fast, which is imperative for Cincinnati because that hurt them last year. Everyone forgets. They lost to the New England Patriots in the first game of the year last year. At home.
To a Gerard Mayo coached team.
And it cost them at the end. Did it not?
It did. They missed the playoffs by 1 game.
Go ahead. Get in that preseason.
Do you think there's an actual correlation, though, of him playing 9 snaps, 10 snaps in August to them actually winning more games in the regular season?
Well, if you can iron out the nonsense early on, go ahead and do that. You don't want that to be ironed out within the first game. You don't want to do that.
Okay, Damian Woody, your thoughts?
Well, you said the ex-players. I'm an ex-player. I love it. I love it. I think a couple things you have to keep in mind. Number one, this is the first time I can remember Joe Burrow coming into training camp healthy.
Actually healthy, you're right.
He's healthy, okay? That's a big deal. Every other year he's been dealing with, whether it's a calf or his appendix, it's always been something with Joe Burrow, but not this year. He's healthy, his wide receivers are paid, they got a boatload of talent on offense, so why not? Number 2, we know, and we've been talking about this ad nauseum now, we know the Cincinnati Bengals have a propensity to start slow. And so when this idea was broached to the quarterback, look right here, 1-11, which is the worst in the NFL, over the span. And so